It was late and we were walking about the park. I went to the restroom. I come back and some jackoff is sexually harassing with my GF. Shush is very uncomfortable, doing her best not to panic, and lets him know so and that her boyfriend is nearby. He's not listening. I approach him and kindly tell him to fuck off or I'll call the police. Dude is very clearly drunk as I can smell the beer on him. As we turn to leave he grabs her ass and tells her to leave me and come to him. I turn around and hit him. My girlfriend has been a victim of sexual assault before and she's doing her best not to break down. I'll spare you the details other than I got my ass kicked. He left after that. My girlfriend had a panic attack in the car after that. I just feel let down. I couldn't help her. I feel embarrassed, emasculated. Shush has been a victim of sexual assault before, so this harassment is traumatic. I wasn't able to help her. I wasn't there for her. I feel worthless. I could have held it in, I could have just left earlier like she wanted. It's been 2 days and she's still traumatized over it. She has an emergency therapy meeting today and hasn't been to work. Shush has been crying and I've attempted to help her but it's clear I can't.
What if you hadn't been there? That guy is definitely a scumbag, but I'm glad you were there even if you got beat up, cause he most likely would have done a lot worse to her if she was all alone. The event definitely brought back horrible memories for her, and I'm so happy she's in therapy. My advice is to just be there for her and emotionally support her as well. You saved her that night, now be there for her now.
First of all, quit the what ifs. They're not helping you. If you had left earlier, you might have seen him walking towards you from the opposite direction of the park. If you had ignored him, he might have become more violent. There is no way to tell whether the situation would have turned out for the better if you'd done anything different. All victims get these what ifs. It's you trying to fix a problem that cannot be fixed, since it's in the past. You can't change the past, but you can change how you feel about it now. Getting your ass kicked isn't the end of the world. It feels humiliating, and I can understand that you feel inadequate, but if you'd beaten him up, your girlfriend would still feel the same. She probably thinks that you are her hero because you defended her. You stood up for her, and you were even willing to fight for her. You cannot comprehend how much that means for victims. It doesn't matter to her that you lost the fight, you were willing to start it. Drunk guys also have incredible strength. There's a reason why my hospitals makes sure all the drunks are escorted by security and restraints are nearby. These guys can overpower you way easier than you'd think. You are not inadequate for getting beaten. I suggest you take some therapy sessions too. It might help you change how you feel about the past. Remember, you can't change the past, only how you feel about it. Maybe it's a good idea to take a self-defense class with your girlfriend. I found that upped my self-esteem and confidence a lot, even when I don't technically have to defend myself. Don't blame yourself. You did everything you could, and I think you're her hero right now, even if she doesn't tell you.
Bro, I'm sorry this happened to you. This is a lot of men's worst nightmare. But you know what's an even bigger nightmare? Not stepping up. Being paralyzed by fear. We've all had those nightmares. But when push came to shove, you stepped up, and that's all anyone can ask of you. Don't let that extinguish the fire in your belly. If the same punk does the same thing again, you need to have it in you to step up again. Because that's the energy that you will need to support her moving forward. If you feel psychological trauma from it, it's possible that some MMA training will flush it out of you. And remember one thing, every human on the planet can lose a fight. Even martial arts champions. There is always someone better than you out there, so that's why there is no great shame in losing. And the best revenge is living a good life. Don't let him take that from you. He will have his own struggles and shit life to deal with.
Getting your ass kicked is still supporting your GF. Whether you kicked his ass or got your ass kicked, the situation would still have been the same trauma for her. You're dealing with your own trauma of getting your ass kicked and not feeling secure enough in your manhood. Deal with yourself first, get over it, then be ready to support your GF the way she needs it. Nothing you would have done that day would have changed the way she felt. Until you realize this, you'll be stuck in the same endless cycle.
No, as someone who has been sexually assaulted before, I would honestly not know how to repay my boyfriend if he got his ass kicked for me. You did what you should have, and I'm sorry that he ended up beating you up, but you did all you could. You Showed extreme bravery. You are not less than. Your girlfriend probably sees you as a hero. She was more than likely still just scared of having been groped against her will, and probably felt bad that you ended up getting hurt because of her. It was because of the asshole, not either of you.
Win, lose or draw, you still stood tall for her. That should be enough.
Your feelings are totally valid, but I would encourage you to imagine a good friend of yours told you this happened to them. Would you tell him he'd been emasculated? What would you say to him? I applaud you for intervening, that was very brave. Your girlfriend is very lucky to have you.
The fact that the drunk guy will just get up and go to work in the morning as usual repulses me to my core.
You took a beating for your GF. You the fucking man in my book.
If he didn't continue assaulting her after he beat you up, then you accomplished your goal. PF protecting her.